YouTube. Vidhead 85. Gonna get 5 minutes? Alright. So I recently did a little bit of research. And I have to articulate why I'm not voting for Governor Cuomo in this election. And I'm voting for Zephyr Teachout in this primary election. This will be happening September 9th. And while I am glad of some things that Governor Cuomo has done, for the most part, he is basically a Democratic version of maybe Scott Walker or Chris Christie, but here we go. First of all, he dissolved the Moreland Commission, thus backing down on his promise to fight corruption. In April 2003, the office of Preet Bharara, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, indicted Halloran, Smith, Taboni, and Savino on federal corruption charges, 4 senators. After the news broke, the state's governor, Andrew Cuomo, urged the legislature to pass a package of anti-corruption reforms, including a Campaign Finance Reform Act. The legislature failed to pass a single measure. That summer, Cuomo announced the formation of a 25-member panel of the Moreland Commission to investigate public corruption, to probe systemic corruption and the appearance of such corruption in state government, political campaigns, and elections. He said anything that they want to look at, they can look at. Me, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the comptroller, any senator, any assemblyman. The commission was given 18 months to conduct its investigation, but in 2014, apparently as a part of a budget deal with the legislature, a deal that did not include any meaningful campaign finance reform provisions, Cuomo shut it down. In April, Bharara, concerned about possible malfeasance, seized the commission's files. He also cut up public education and advocated for charter schools. Education funding advocates say that they have a use for the recently announced $4.2 billion surplus. They say schools in New York, particularly the state's poorest schools, could use the money. The Alliance for Quality Education, Billy Easton, says New York has fallen far behind in carrying out an order issued 8 years ago from the state's highest court, saying schools, particularly the poorest district, deserve billions of dollars more in state funding each year. The money that is due to schools has never been paid, Easton said. Easton says a recently announced surplus of over $4 billion from settlements with banks and insurance companies should be used to fill the gaps his group says have grown nearly $6 billion. The group recommends a 4-year phase-in. The governor wants to also use that for tax cuts and falsely advocated that casino money would be used for schools. When was the first time you heard of that actually being advocated to schools? Governor Cuomo took money from Time Warner and Comcast, $200 million. The merger must be for the public good. It's not. Zephyr Teachout would bring out legislation, or she would deny the merger, and she would also bring out legislation to deal with Time Warner, or to deal with cable mergers. And he also pissed off Canadians with his power grab at the Peace Bridge regarding the expansion of the Peace Bridge and the surrounding properties. He refuses to debate Zephyr Teachout on his policy and his record. He chose to give 10-year tax-free zones for businesses. Yeah, let's look at Kansas, whose state economy crashed. He also chose a lieutenant governor that worked for M&T after she lost her race. Teachout's lieutenant governor is a Columbia professor who coined the term net neutrality. Hochul is a crossover Democrat, so much that she bragged about her conservative record. I will, in fact, link that here. Hochul is said she voted to repeal Obamacare. She is truly not a progressive Democrat. Teachout says of Governor Cuomo's economic policy that it isn't all that different from Reagan's. I gotta admit, she's definitely right about that. Though he passed the SAFE Act and a minimum wage increase in marriage equality, Governor Cuomo has not been pushing the legislature on gender, fair elections, and true ethics reform. He also refuses to break the independent Democratic caucus, we call it the I Don't Care caucus, so that we can get the Democratic Senate that New Yorkers voted for in 2012. At first I thought it was a smart move, but if you're going to show that you're the face of the Democratic Party in the state, you need to act like it. Zephyr Teachout is running more for reform than for governor. She has a passion for the people of New York and has a clear level head about where she wants to take New York. What I also feel is simply this. I believe that she would be an excellent senator. She would be an excellent assembly member. I want to get her into the governor's mansion. But if she fails there, I want her in the legislature. We need more people like Zephyr Teachout in government. See you later, YouTube, and thanks for letting me talk to you.